Episode 9 is set to include many different twists and turns as well as surprises by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, one thing that a lot of people are really looking forward to seeing in this movie is exactly how J.J. is going to handle the entire concept of course, flashbacks, visions, dream sequences by use of characters like Kylo Ren and Rey in this movie. Now, we do know that J.J. is really trying to go all out with this film in order to really fulfill the Skywalker saga and to end it on a satisfying note with a majority of fans around the world. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the concept art and storyboard descriptions, etc. One of which has all to do with one of the sequences involving Adam Driver and an unnamed actor in a Darth Vader scene. Specifically, it's described that one of the sequences filmed involved Adam Driver standing near a large table over at Cardington, where a dummy or prop piece of Vader's burned body was placed on the table that is used in order to emulate what was seen at the very end of Episode 3 before the suit was installed onto Anakin Skywalker. It's described that in the sequence, Adam was holding a melted Vader helmet, implying that this was most likely a vision sequence for Kylo. Another scene involved actually an actor in a suit with makeup to recreate Vader's burns and wounds on the table. It's described that the actor was screaming for the scene when Driver was instructed to act in shock. So I want to go over a couple of parts about this and why it ties directly into what we were talking about, I would say about 4 months ago or so, from one of the other concept art descriptions. Now, this scene in particular involving Adam Driver and the unnamed actor. This unnamed actor, by the way, is probably the same exact one that's playing the hybrid Force Ghost of Darth Vader / Anakin Skywalker. So you can really see what JJ is trying to do. Now, we do know that this film is actually going to bring back Darth Vader's melted helmet, something that was not seen in The Last Jedi, strangely, right? A lot of people are wondering what happened to it, where was it, did it get destroyed on board of the Supremacy? Now, it is coming back. It is going to be back in Episode 9, which is a great thing, and it's going to serve a purpose, I believe. So this helmet in itself that Adam Driver was instructed to hold while he's actually examining the unnamed actor portraying the character of Darth Vader with his burns and wounds on top of this table. This is obviously a Coruscant flashback where we're actually getting a little vision of what happened to Anakin Skywalker or Darth Vader and what Kylo Ren is actually seeing. Now, this to me, it sounds like a similar sequence as to what happened with Rey. You know, in The Force Awakens, Rey touches the Skywalker lightsaber. It calls to her, and she basically gets sucked into the past. She sees different visions of the past leading up to the events of course, Episode 7. So with that being said, you can see the parallels that JJ is trying to perform here, where Adam Driver is holding the Darth Vader helmet, seeing a vision of what Vader went through, what his grandfather went through, and exactly how he became the man who he was throughout the ages and while he ruled the entire galaxy and was considered to be the most hated man in the galaxy, as Rey said in Episode 8. So the next thing I do want to go over is how this unnamed actor was instructed to scream on set while Adam Driver was holding this helmet looking over his shoulder. So you can really see how JJ is really trying to insert a lot of horrific moments into the film, and this definitely does line directly up with how this movie is going to be far darker than that of both The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens combined. That is JJ's aim for this movie, is to really make it the new Revenge of the Sith, if you will, with a little bit of hope at the very end of the movie. So I really do like a take on that. I like that take on a Star Wars film. It's like combining what we already saw in Revenge of the Sith and at the very end of Return of the Jedi and combining the two and making something very unique and original. Now, we do know that J.J. Abrams said before, about a year ago or so, that he has no plans on copying past Star Wars films and playing it safe this time. This is all about doing something very unique, very original, but while at the same exact time throwing in a lot of callbacks, parallels, and of course, flashbacks in order to incorporate a lot of nostalgia and fan service here and there. So at the same exact time, you can see what Disney and Lucasfilm are doing here. You can see that they're trying to really reach out to the fans and offer a lot of the fan favorite characters in this movie in order to really fill in the theater seats. And I think that with that being said, you know, this whole entire sequence that was filmed over at Cardington, it definitely does line directly up with what we were talking about 4 months ago, about Anakin Skywalker / Darth Vader and his burns and wounds being seen by Kylo Ren as a lesson, if you will, that if you go down the dark path way too far, this is absolutely what could happen to you if you get defeated by, you know, somebody else, or if you run into a certain accident or something around those lines. So that's what I love about Star Wars. It's very poetic, and it seems as though that JJ is trying to fulfill that whole entire concept from George Lucas in Episode 9. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again.